and welcome to another edition of the Wittenberg Factor here in our spin-tight studio. My friends, tonight I want to talk about the GOP's new golden boy, Herman Cain. Cain is now the frontrunner for the GOP, and he scares the bejesus out of me. Why? Let me give you the reasons. Number 1, ignorance. Herman Cain is completely ignorant of almost all the things he needs to know as president. He's already said in an interview that he will possibly negotiate with terrorists. Now, any American knows that our policy is we don't negotiate with terrorists. His 999 plan will raise taxes on most Americans, and he brags that he doesn't know the names of foreign leaders. This isn't the 1800s, Herman. With the internet, telephones, and airplanes, the world is connected. And if you're planning on being the leader of the country, you're gonna have to know who Dmitry Medvedev is. What, are you planning on calling Paris and asking for the head French dude? Cain has shown nothing but ignorance in both foreign and domestic policy. What else is there? Number 2, flip-flopping. Herman Cain is such a flip-flop that he makes John Kerry and Mitt Romney look like Stonewall Jackson. If you can't even maintain a position within the time span of an interview, you're kind of a moron. Take a look at his view on abortion.
A quick question on one more hot subject,
Yes.
abortion.
Yes.
You're against it.
I'm pro-life from conception, yes.
Any cases where it should be legal?
I don't think government should make that decision. I don't believe that government should make that decision.
People should be free to abort a baby.
I support life from conception. No, people shouldn't be just free to abort, because if we don't protect the sanctity of life from conception, we will also start to play God relative to life at the end of life.
So I'm confused on what your position is.
My position is I'm pro-life, period.
If a woman is raped, she should not be allowed to end the pregnancy?
That's her choice. That is not government's choice.
Good.
I support life from conception.
So abortion should be legal?
No, abortion should not be legal. I believe in the sanctity of life.
I'm asking you a simple question. Who's on first?
Yes.
Well, go ahead and tell me.
That's it.
That's who? I'm asking you, what's the guy's name on first base?
Oh, no, what's on second?
I don't think government should make that decision. No, people shouldn't be just free to abort. That's her choice. That is not government's choice.
Now, what's the guy's name on first base?
Now, what is on second?
I'm not asking you who's on second.
Who is on first?
I don't know.
And like I said earlier, he first claimed he may negotiate with terrorists. And then when Anderson Cooper asked him about it, he changed his mind. See, now this is a trend with Herman Cain. He says one thing, someone tells him he's an effing moron, and he corrects himself. So what will he do if he becomes president? Is he going to appoint someone to be behind him and tap him on the shoulder every time he says something so they can tell him what he should really say to not look like a fucking ignoramus? Number 3, lack of experience. Herman Cain has no experience in politics. While on the surface this may seem like a good thing, it's not! Everyone's been saying for years that we need an outsider. Okay, that's fine, but how about someone with some intelligence and some common sense? Besides, we did get an outsider. Barack Obama? Have you heard of him? How the hell did that one work out? It'll be the same thing all over again. A fringe candidate who runs for president on a whim, most likely just to get publicity. They know they don't have a snowflake's chance in hell of winning, but through some miracle, there are enough dumb people in this country to listen to them, and an inept enough candidate on the other side that they're elected. And then they have no idea what to do. We already have one man-child in the White House. Do we need another? And can anybody honestly tell me they think someone with as little knowledge on seemingly anything as Herman Cain could even fix a leaky sink, much less the frickin' economy? We will be right back after this commercial break.
Don't know much about history. Don't know much biology. Don't know much about a science book. Don't know much about the French I took.
Herman Cain, he don't know shit, but you should vote for him anyway. Why? 'Cause fuck it, that's why. And in further news, Lindsay Lohan has been sentenced to 30 days in jail, but she'll be allowed to finish her Playboy shoot first. Oh yeah, that'll help me sleep at night. I'm so glad these journalists are out there reporting the important stuff. And speaking of Hollywood dunderheads and flip-flops, let's talk about Morgan Freeman. I used to think Morgan Freeman was an intelligent man. He was a good actor who stayed the hell out of politics. In fact, basically his only real political statement was this interview on 60 Minutes.
I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man.
Beautiful words, and exactly what many Americans have been thinking. Now let's take a look at his recent statement about the Tea Party.
Their stated policy, publicly stated, is to do whatever it takes to see to it that Obama only serves one term. What is that? What underlines that? Screw the country. We're going to do whatever we do to get this black man. We're going to do whatever we can to get this black man out of here.
But is that necessarily a racist thing?
It is a racist thing.
Is it not just Republicans? Wouldn't they say that about any Democrat
No, because they
president?
would have gotten rid of Bill Clinton if they could have.
But they tried.
They did try, but still.
Quite the flip-flop, isn't it? Let's watch it again.
Screw the country. We're going to do whatever we do to get this black man.
Stop talking about it.
We're going to do whatever we can to get this black man
Stop talking
out
about
of
it.
here.
But is that necessarily a racist thing?
It is a racist. Stop
Is it not just Republicans?
What other possible reason could they have for hating Obama besides race? I don't know. How about the fact that he's passed this healthcare bill despite the fact no one wants it? How about the fact that he just involved the U.S. in another war over oil in Libya? One we shouldn't have been involved in. Change indeed. What you probably don't understand, Morgan, is that Obama promised change, but he didn't deliver. He's taken everything bad about Bush and amplified it in his own presidency. Is that enough for you? And look at the front runner. Oh, right. So now Morgan Freeman can just go ahead and join the ranks of the Hollywood morons. And speaking of Hollywood morons, let's now turn to Rosanne Barr.
I do say that I am for the return of the guillotine, and that is for the worst of the guilty.
You're singing to the choir on this show. We've been advocating the guillotine for years now.
Oh, well, fantastic. We think alike in many ways. I first would allow the guilty bankers to pay, the ability to pay back anything over $100 million personal wealth, because I believe in a maximum wage of $100 million. And if they're unable to live on that amount, then they should, go to the re-education camps, and if that doesn't help, then be beheaded.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And how much money have you made, you annoying, unfunny balloon? I'll make a deal with ya. If your head can be the first to roll, let's consider your proposal. And finally tonight, can I just say that I'm sick and tired of this Steve Jobs overload? He died. He's dead. Get over it and move the fuck on. They've been talking about this longer than when Presidents Reagan and Ford died. It was too long then, and they were presidents for God's sake. Steve Jobs is a guy who took other people's ideas and slapped a little eye on the front of it. A man who died of cancer and could have saved himself if he hadn't opted to use alternative voodoo medicine. As far as I'm concerned, Steve Jobs should be up for a fucking Darwin Award. That's all the time we have for this edition of the Wittenberg Factor. I'm Tyler Wittenberg, and the spin is that away.